Those joining us live, we welcome you to the post-fight press conference here at Bellator Fighting Championships 44. It was live tonight on MTV2, our normal start time, of course, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, here at Caesars Atlantic City, a great location. Bellator's inaugural event here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Great to be here, great crowd, great casino. In fact, all the folks here, I know you're anxious to get downstairs and get onto the 145,000 square feet of gaming space that awaits all of us just moments from now. But first, we've got some comments from the fighters. We'll open it up here just momentarily for the press that's in the house. We'll have plenty of time to take care of questions. So if you'll formulate those questions after the fighters speak, we'll open it up to the crowd live. And for those fans that are joining us on the live stream at Bellator.com, we welcome you to our post-fight press conference. We are live still from Caesars Atlantic City, right off the world-famous boardwalk. With that, without further ado, let's turn it over for opening comments from the founder, chairman, and CEO of Bellator Fighting Championships, Mr. Bjorn Rebney.
Thanks, Mike. I've said this many times, and when you travel around the country and you do a live nationally televised show, reaching 82 million homes each and every week, being able to come to a location where the people that are working there and the staff that you're working with and the executives you're working with are just consummate pros, know the game, understand the business backward and forward is just a spectacular treat because it makes our life, it makes our production team's life, it makes our network partners' lives, everyone's easier. So a big thank you goes out to the folks at Caesars, to Ken Condon, to the entire team here. It was just a tremendous experience for us, one that we're looking forward to revisiting countless times in the coming years as part of our MTV2 alliance. Also, obviously, our partners at MTV2, 82 million homes, helped us put on another spectacular show, promoted it cross-platform, and reached an awful lot of people out there and an awful lot of MMA fans. So thank you to them as well. And to the fighters that are sitting up here with me up on this platform, I'll start out with the first fight of the night, which kicked it off in beautiful fashion. Alexander Shlemenko, who was our Season 2 middleweight tournament winner. I said this last week when Jimmy and I were on air. These two fighters, Brett Cooper, Alexander Shlemenko, they know one direction, that's forward. They know one speed, that's fast. I projected that it would be like a head-on collision, and it was. What a spectacular fight, exciting, back and forth. They gave us exactly what I thought we would see. It's just a pity that it was an eliminator because for our qualifier for our tournament, because ultimately both of these guys look like the kind of fighters you would like to see in that middleweight tournament coming up this fall. So a big congratulations to Alexander Shlemenko on a spectacular performance, and Brett, as I said to you after the fight, just a great, gutsy, positive, spectacular, entertaining performance as well. We can't wait to see you back in the cage. So congratulations to both of you guys. And Alexander.
Спасибо всем, очень рад был выступить, показать красивый бой.
Thank you very much everybody for supporting me. I was very glad to fight here, and I'm glad that you liked my fight. Thank you.
I want to say thank you also. All I can say about my fight is I gave everything I possibly could. Some things that a few things happened before this fight. You know, I was injured. I injured my shoulder about 2 weeks ago, and this Tuesday I was in the hospital for the flu. So, but I didn't want to pull out. You know, I wanted Alexander to have a fight, and I didn't want to, you know, disappoint Bellator. So I came out and gave my 100%, and I'm glad everybody liked it.
Yeah. I've said many times, and I think it holds true, I think the gentleman sitting a couple of seats down from me, Hector Lombard, is the most explosive middleweight in the game today. He showed it. He showed he can make it into the second round, and had another very, very explosive victory. Falaniko Vitale is a very, very talented middleweight who has beaten some really top-tier fighters, including Yushin Akami, who's going to be fighting for the UFC belt in short order. And Hector just showed again power and speed and technique and ability is a very dangerous combination. So congratulations, Hector, on another really big win. And Falaniko, again, thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for giving us this fight. Thank you for traveling from Hawaii coming out here to Atlantic City and facing Hector Lombard, and looking forward to seeing you again at Bellator in the very near future. So.
Just wanted to thank Bellator for having me out here tonight. Too bad the fight didn't go the way I wanted to go, but you gotta respect a guy like Hector. He's a badass. After that first left right hook to the head, you know, a lot of respect for his power. So it kind of threw me off, my game plan off a little bit. He's the champion. He's the better man tonight. Hopefully I get to be in this tournament. Hopefully I get a rematch in the future.
What I can say? I just want to say thank you for all these wonderful people here. You come to see the show, and I was feeling really good today. No questions asked. I was 100%, you know, and yeah, I was just feeling grateful that, you know, I come out with the win, more important than anything, and keep fighting in Bellator. Thank you guys.
And our lightweight tournament championship bout, a lot of people had asked me going into this season if we would be able to find a potential competitor for Eddie Alvarez to challenge him for his lightweight title at Bellator. I didn't know. I didn't know. I think Eddie Alvarez is the best 155-pounder in the world. I've said it many times. I didn't know if we would have a fighter of the caliber to challenge Eddie Alvarez and give us a compelling fight for that world title. And these two guys came into this fight, Patricky Pitbull coming off of literally two spectacular KO of the Year candidates against Chandler, and then against Toby Amata, who had never been knocked out before. And this guy, to my left, coming off of two dominant performances. We could not lose either way in terms of which one of these guys won that fight. And, you know, the terminology phenom gets used in our game a lot, and people throw it out early in fighters' careers. I think you could literally attach it to both of these guys, but the guy to my left, in terms of coming out of the wrestling domain and the wrestling world, and to be able to put strikes together the way he did, his stand-up game and the evolution of that game, a very, very special thing to see. He said to us when we started out, he said, I'm going to win this tournament, I'm going to challenge Eddie Alvarez, I'm going to beat Eddie Alvarez. And you know, it would be you wouldn't want to bet against him at this point. So, congratulations to Mike Chandler for a spectacular performance tonight. And the gentleman to my right, Patricky Pitbull, just another great performance, a tremendous heart, tremendous dig, going into the late rounds, didn't gas, kept coming, kept bringing the fight. Cannot wait to see this gentleman get back in the cage for us. Cannot wait to see him in our next lightweight tournament. We're just blessed to have both of these guys fighting for us, and a big congratulations to Mike Chandler.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Bjorn and Bellator and to Patricky. Thank you so much for the fight. And best of luck next week to his brother Patricio. You guys are definitely you know, a force to be reckoned with. But you know, right now I just want to take the time to, you know, just really express how blessed I am to have just an amazing group of people just follow me around the country. You know, it's not very often that you see somebody who has, you know, family and friends who are willing to go all the way across the country and will be with you through thick and thin. And I love all you guys. I thank you guys so much for coming out here. And you know, I made a major life change about 9 months ago, moved all the way out to Extreme Couture, and you talk about my striking, that's absolutely nothing besides hard work and sticking around Gil Martinez. The best boxing coach, you know, in MMA, and you know, I'm just blessed to have him in my life and as my coach. My management, Dave and Randall, Martin Advisory Group, thank you guys so much. You know, we're headed to the top, and I can't wait. Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa, Uncle Ed, Brian, Jamie, you know, Ken and Corey, Eric, everybody. I mean, it's just amazing that just how blessed I am to have people who come all the way across the country for me. And most of all, I hope you guys are ready for that title fight. I told you guys I was going to be in it. I told you guys I was going to win this tournament, and I really think that's what God's got for me. And it's his plan, and I'm going to take Eddie into deep waters, and I'm really going to test him. So I hope he's ready. I know I'm going to be training harder than anybody else in the whole world. So the best camp in the world, Extreme Couture, and the best coaches in the world, and Gil Martinez and Zomi Lanson, and thank you guys.
Queria agradecer primeiramente a Deus e segundo ao presidente Bjorn. Queria agradecer a meu irmão, a Rogério, Rodrigo, todos aqueles que me treinaram e me levaram para o Rio de Janeiro para treinar. Quero agradecer a minha família, a todos que torceram por mim no Brasil, todos que mandaram uma energia positiva, todo o sofrimento que eu tive desde janeiro que eu estou longe da minha família, longe da minha casa. E é isso, eu acho que mais cedo ou mais tarde só perde quem entra para lutar. Então, se Deus quis assim, que ele lute e com certeza ele vai sair ou vitorioso ou derrotado. E eu espero com certeza enfrentar ele ou Ed Alvarez no futuro. Quero agradecer a todos que me apoiaram e me treinaram no Brasil e nos Estados Unidos.
First of all, I want to thank God and Bellator for the opportunity. I also want to thank my brother, Rogério and Rodrigo Nogueira, for taking me to Rio de Janeiro and then to San Diego to train. I also want to thank my family and my friends and everybody from Brazil and from the US that supported me every time for this tournament. And I know that if you come to fight, either you win or you will lose. And tonight God decided that it was Chandler's day, and he'll fight Alvarez next. He can become a champion, or he can come back to the next tournament. And whatever happens, I hope I have the chance to fight both of these guys in the future.
Thank you, gentlemen. So for the folks in the room, real quickly, for those that might have just joined us or recently joined us online, the live stream, we welcome you. We are still at Caesars Atlantic City. Post-fight press conference for Bellator 44, live on MTV2, is already underway. Opening comments have concluded. You've heard from the fighters. Let's go ahead and start with questions in the room. Let's go to the first question here in the front row.
And my first question is for Bjorn about the undercard fight that was brought up to the broadcast between Karabakis and Oropeza. Obviously, the fourth bout that was scheduled was canceled because of the weight issue with Morrison. Was it always going to be, if a fight got canceled, you were going to bump up that one, like that was the start of the undercard, or was that a last-minute decision? And either way, are you happy that it went down the way it did?
Yeah, I'm very happy it went down the way it did. It was a great fight, and that was one. You know, it was the curse of the second TV fight. First, it was Hornbuckle versus Lyman Good, and then it was Morrison Goldsby. Both of those fights went down. But I went to Sam and I said, "What's the best fight we've got that wasn't scheduled for television?" He said, "Without question, that was a fight," and it turned out to be a great fight. It looked spectacular on television. So yeah, it was just a judgment call last minute when we had that fight fall out last night.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next question.
For both Pitbull and Chandler here, your perspectives, respectively, on what the low blows did in terms of the impact on the fight you feel.
You know, I'm very sorry for those. Obviously, you know, I got to work on my kicks. You know, I think it's something that happens in our sport, and you know, it's definitely not intentional. Luckily, we wear cups, and you know, like I said, they were unintentional. You know, I think you got to think about not to take anything away from him, but you know, I mean, that kind of stuff's gonna happen. That kind of stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna get low blows, and you know, it's the guys who are able to fight back from it, you know, and not, you know, obviously I'm on this side of it, and it was my fault, and they were unintentional, but you know, I think it's one of those things, like I said, that kind of stuff's gonna happen, and they were very much so unintentional, so I think, you know, they could have had an impact, but I mean, I don't really have too much to say about it. I'm sorry.
Eu acho que como ele falou, eu também acho que eu não vi maldade no chute dele, mas isso atrapalha um pouco porque às vezes você está ali numa sequência de golpes, está vendo uma abertura de golpe, está vendo que ele está recuando, está vendo que ele está sentindo, está vendo que para onde ele está baixando a cabeça, qual o erro dele, e às vezes um chute desse desconcentra você numa sequência de golpes ou de efeitos que está fazendo nele, mas como ele falou, eu acho que não foi intencional, acho que foi sem intenção mesmo.
As he said, I think it wasn't intentional, but of course it gets into you because sometimes you are going in a sequence of attacks and you see some openings, you see some mistakes he does, and it kind of throws you off. You lose the concentration, you forget what you were thinking, and it takes away from the rhythm you're putting in the fight. But as I said, I don't think it was intentional, and it happens in a fight.
Thank you. Let's go back to the room for other questions. All right, sir.
This question's for Michael Chandler. How do you think you match up with Eddie Alvarez? And how do you see the fight finishing?
I think right now I match up well. I think in 3 to 4 months I match up extremely well. I think I'm going to put in the training, you know, nothing against him, but I know I'm going to be training harder than him with better training partners and better coaches. You know, I was impressed with my striking tonight. I didn't know I had it in me. You know, you gotta trust. I gotta trust Gil and realize that, you know, I'm starting to become more well-rounded. And Eddie's a great champion. I like the way he fights. I like how he comes at guys. We need, like, you know, I always say we need guys like Eddie Alvarez in this sport who come forward, you know, and they bring the fight to guys. I think I match up well. I think, you know, like I've said, I trained for. You know, for this fight, if it had to go 3 rounds, I was training to dominate every single round. I'm gonna be training to fight a 5-round fight against Eddie. And I know that I'm gonna be able to push harder than him. I know that I want this. I want that belt, and I've wanted it since September, since I signed with Bellator. And this road has been set out for me. I knew I was gonna fight a few fights, make it into this tournament, win this tournament. And now Eddie Alvarez, I can finally, you know, whenever you guys ask me about him, I can finally say, you know, what do I think about him? I think I'm fighting him next, you know, and I can start actually focusing on him and not the guys who I had to fight in this tournament. But I think I match up well. I'm gonna bring the fight to him, and I don't think many guys have. I think a lot of people have been a little bit scared of him and or let him kind of get off on him. So I'm gonna bring the fight to him, and you guys better not blink for, you know, 25 minutes. I plan on having that belt around my waist by the end of the year.
Thank you, Michael. Back to the room for our next question.
Hey, Bjorn, James Jefferson, MMA Sports Extreme Show. First of all, thanks for coming to Jersey. We love you here. Question about the Eddie Alvarez fight. We'd love to have it back here in Jersey. Obviously, he's from Philly, and it was a great turnout here at Caesars, and you see Caesars rolled out that red carpet for you, and it was a great fan experience tonight. What are the chances of having that fight right back here at Caesars?
Well, it's sure something we can talk about. I mean, it's a huge fight for us, and this was a spectacular venue, electrified. The fans were great from start to finish. You know, the first fight went into the cage, and there was not an available seat in the house, standing room only, and you know, it's just great fight fans. I mean, you get around this New Jersey area, the New York area, and Philly, you get close proximity to Philly, and it's just fight fans just, you know, levitate towards something like this. So it was great. I mean, it was powerful and magic. We just got to sit down with a team at Caesars and see where their heads are, see what their avails are. I mean, one of the upsides of this location is that it's such a spectacular turnout. One of the downsides is that it's such a spectacular turnout that they often have a lot of things booked on days when we have fights. So you got to sit down with Ken Khan and the team at Caesars and figure it out. But this was electrifying. It looked great. I mean, you guys didn't get to see it down from the truck. I ran down to the truck a few times, and it was just looked like $1 million. You know, it just looked packed, and people were excited and having a good time. So. Love to be back here. And I'm really looking forward to coming back here.
All right, let's go back to the room. Next question.
Hector, obviously the knockout was what it was, but those first 2 rounds, for a lot of fans and a lot of people watching, left a lot to be desired. What happened those first couple rounds?
I mean, people always gonna talk, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you have finished the fight in the first round, people always talk. If you finish a fight in the second round, people always talk. If you finish in the third round, you gotta talk. So, you know, it's kind of like, dude, you know, whatever.
Pause for a moment for the media to finish their quotes. Everybody got that? Okay, next question.
I don't know how to follow that up, but this one's for Bjorn.
House live event, fighters, etc. So, you know, I'm not satisfied, but it's been a very, very positive experience over these last 3 months. But my hope is that it just keeps getting better, stronger, more exciting, more entertaining, qualitatively at a higher level. So that's a long answer to a short question. Sorry.
Thank you. Let's go back to the house. Next question. If we have one, we do. Go ahead, sir.
Alex wanted to know what you think about maybe a potential rematch with Lombard down the road now that you are in. Where am I going again? Your thoughts on a potential rematch with Hector Lombard?
Я бы очень хотел этого матча, но для этого нужно еще выиграть 3 боя.
Well, of course, it would be great to have the rematch, but he has a long way to go. He has to win the 8-man tournament to get the chance to fight Hector again. So.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's check the house one last time for a question. And if not, excellent. We'll go back for closing comments to Bjorn Rebney. Well, let's go back to Hector Lombard first.
Hey man, yo, last time when I fought Slenco, I was sick. So you know, alright? I was really sick. Fever, vomiting, etc., alright? And I pulled out the fight.
Right. Thank you, Hector. At this time, we'll go for closing comments now to Bjorn Rebney.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Again, a big thank you to Caesars and the entire staff here for helping us put on a spectacular sold-out show. A big thank you to our partners at MTV2. Congratulations to Alexander Shlemenko, to Hector Lombard for a great knockout victory, to Mike Chandler for a spectacular, elevated performance against a world-class lightweight in Patricky Pitbull, and a thank you to Vitale and to Brett for showing up and putting on good fights for us. So, and thank you guys for showing up, and thank you to that spectacular audience outside that watched the fights tonight. So, thank you guys.
And with that, for those in attendance, if you would please put your hands together for the fighters tonight at Bellator Fighting Championships.